Hello, YouTubers. Thanks for coming back. We have a very special event here. Just moments ago, UPS had delivered the long-awaited package from RS Propmasters, which would be the HDPE Stormtrooper stunt helmet, their 10th anniversary green plastic stunt helmet, which I had ordered in the battle worn, or they described on the website Tantive worn paint style rather than the box fresh, which I have a box fresh stunt helmet from them already in the form of the Empire Strikes Back stunt helmet. And so this has just gotten here. I have not opened it up. I did pre-score the box with a knife before the video because it's too much to do with one hand. So we're going to go ahead and break this thing open. And there's the sticker from RS for me. Crack that open. Turn the around. And I am familiar with the packaging style and procedure that they go after. Oh boy, what do we have in here? Actually, before we do this, the standard RS Propmaster envelope with documentation and paperwork. That shall go over here because that will eventually go in the stand. And let's get in here carefully. Pull you out. Is there anything else? Contents in the box. Nothing in the box. So we'll go ahead and slide you over there. And now that this is out of the box, we will take you over here to my display table where I display all of my... Okay, well, I figured that would happen, but that's okay. Seems the brow has come off of that, but we can put that right back on. So let me go ahead and get the bag off of him, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and I had to do some modification here because the brow was a little troublesome to get back on, but she's back on, and the bag has been disposed of properly, so now we can really get a good look at this beauty. You know, it's... You always hear that things just never do justice unless they're in person, and this is one of those times where, you know, it's just, you know what it is, you know what you're getting. If you had these before, you're used to the quality and the detail and the lineage that's behind all of this. That's been said a million times before. And once you get used to seeing these, this one definitely, you can tell, you can see the difference. There's a subtlety to the tightness of the pull from the plastic that was used, and there is a subtlety to the fact that there is white paint on the surface rather than it being molded in plastic. That absolutely is a definitely obvious difference. And having the slightly worn, battle-worn weathering on it is just, you know, perfect, and you know, it just subtle enough, not too much. You know, there's some instances of these troopers you can see in the beginning during the boarding party battle where they are just beat to death, and there's huge chunks of paint missing from the helmets due to just having been filmed months before they even did that scene, and these things were just beat up that way. Sorry about that. I had to pause real quick. Something was beeping out there, and I had to go check and see what it was, and it was just my water timer. I was heating up some water for some tea, so as I let that steep. Anyway, so back to this. As I go around it, just, as a good roundabout close-up. The other thing that I am definitely, enjoying about this, physically, the texture, having texture because it's physically been painted, spray painted, instead of the molded in the plastic. And that does also, again, give a definite visual subtlety that you just can't replicate. The relief, flaking of the paint away from leaving the underneath visible. You just can't replicate that as well. I mean, some of the paint jobs I've done for some of my helmets, I haven't done a mask out or build up and removal that way, and I've gotten okay results with painting something on to emulate a flake, and the way that the paint would look around the rim, as if it would have been flaked away to give it some dimension. You get good at doing that, but it never ever replaces the reality of that subtlety, and it just looks good, and that's what they do here. And anybody who had their hands on this, absolute wonderful job. I mean, it totally is what I was hoping it would be as far as the what makes the difference. The subtleties that make the difference in it are definitely in the helmet, and totally worth it, and brings what I think is a good full circle, a good closure. Not closure, I would say, but finally, this is as close as it gets, like they said, to what we see on screen in A New Hope. Now, one of the things, this is their trademark thing because it come from on set, the little dimple here on the forehead, to me, looks a lot more discernible than the previous helmets. So it's showing me that the plastic, the HDPE plastic, definitely pulls tighter, and the shapes are definitely more distinguishable, and that's giving it its lofty position as my #1 trooper helmet, and I'm loving it. I mean, the paint job being by hand, it's just, it doesn't get better really. So let's carefully kind of, and the tube stripes painted by hand as well, very nicely done. So slowly but surely, let's go in here, and usual setup, and I'll get, if he doesn't wiggle on me here. All right, we're good. The usual setup, the star-shaped padding insert, and the acetate lens and the strap. And when we look in there, we can see the overspray from the red primer, and showing through the overspray of the white. And let's see if we can look around. Does it show? Oh, there's a good bit of light getting in there. You can really see it in that way. Just super cool. Cannot wait to get this put in my shelf here, and I will have my complete order, which I think I will show you in a minute when I get that done. But I want to do one more thing before I do that, just to see how it looks, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back for the final part of this video, and what I wanted to do was bring the Empire Strikes Back version Stormtrooper helmet up, because even though I have the the Sand Trooper, which is in A New Hope, to build and design, the Stormtrooper helmet from Empire was literally just a repainted A New Hope helmet. Well, that's what they did for the production. So having that as a metric between two different manufacturing methods, meaning that the Stormtrooper helmet was molded in the ABS plastic, and the HDPE, God, I can't even say it, HDPE helmet, the green plastic helmet, for the 10th anniversary A New Hope Stormtrooper. I mean, other than the coloring or the paint job differences with the dark gray teeth as opposed to the black teeth, and the decal tube striping and panels as opposed to the hand-painted tube striping and panels, and well, everything hand-painted on this one. Just looking at the see if I can get a glimpse of it here. Looking at just the eye sockets, like for under here, this one definitely has much more of an edge on the inside than this one does. You can definitely see that the edge is a little more rounded in this plastic. It doesn't pull quite as tightly, but over here you can absolutely see how tight in that edge is. I mean, I know they have a little bit of weathering paint in there, but physically you can absolutely see it, that this pull comes in very tightly, and this one, although it's nice and tight, has a little bit of a rounded, it comes down and rounds out a little bit further out from under here. So the mold comes up to about here. You can see that line in the reflection, and then gradually rounds up to meet underneath here. Whereas here, I have my finger on it, the mold comes up much higher, almost up into the corner here, before it eventually turns up in underneath. So little things like that are evident all over when you're really looking at them. And there is little subtleties in the nose, of being the brim of the nose piece here. Although it's nice and absolutely top shelf piece, this one definitely has a tighter pull, a little flatter shelf, it appears. And there's other things around the helmet that are, showing off a little bit more of what you're getting with that plastic. Plus the fact that with that plastic they had to paint the helmet, which again makes that subtlety much different. I mean, the colors are very close. You can tell the ABS plastic just a little more off-white than the white spray paint used. But just so I could compare what was the same mold being pulled and the build as close as I could get it being the same, as opposed to the Sandtrooper helmet, because the Sandtrooper helmet has a slightly different build to it to give it the longer face that it has, so it throws a little bit of the proportions off when you have them sitting side by side. And plus it's much more heavily weathered, so it's a little harder to really discern the subtle details of that I was just going over. So yeah, I will go ahead and pause once more to get everything back in order, and we will finish this up. All right, we are back to my display case, and I'm starting from the ground up because this is the way I have things set up now. Down at the bottom is my Black Series Rogue One Stormtrooper repaint, and the next one up is my RS Empire Stunt helmet. Next one up is my RS Sandtrooper A New Hope helmet, and then at the top is the newly acquired 10th anniversary Stunt helmet with the plaque in the just kind of resting comfortably in the front until a plaque stand becomes available, and then it will have that home. So this is going to find itself just topping the collection. They're all amazing, but I just had to have them in order. So I mean, I've got a New Hope, Empire. Although Rogue is down the bottom, it's not on the level of these pieces. So with all the RS pieces, that's the order that I have them. Other things are floating around in these cabinets that I've already talked about, and we'll talk about later. But I just wanted to bring that up for now, and absolutely ecstatic to have this, and I'm sure I will be oogling it for a while, and just appreciating its just superior finish. So now, whatever's next from RS, I'm not sure. Hopefully, FETs become an available thing later after they complete their previously ordered run. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe an Emperor's Royal Guard helmet would be there. I don't know if anybody's listening. Other than that, we'll see you all later, and have a good day.